Hello, welcome. I'm going to show you how I painted these really easy loose flowers for you. There's no drawing, so let's go. I'm going to get straight into it, so if you need to practice beforehand, feel free to do that, or watch this first and then go back and paint. I'm using some Holbein Shell pink, lilac and brilliant pink. I've had these for a little while and I've used them in the last video as well, and they're just really nice colours. So this is the first layer. Keep it nice and watery and a little bit of pigment, not ridiculously wet, just damp enough so that the colours will flow when we add a second colour in a moment. The paper I'm using is Bahong. It's 100% cotton, 140 pounds paper. It's really good for watercolour painting because the paper can hold a decent amount of water. Just hold your brush nice and lightly and keep the flowers loose. And you might hear that a lot and it might be confusing exactly how to do that. And the way to do it is just you've just got to practice and you've just got to try it, and you've got to hold the brush differently to find your way of doing it. I didn't get to this point straight away. I've been painting about 3 years. I think it is coming up to 3 years now. And if you're a beginner painter and you've just started, you might not get these exact same results straight away. So the first layer, like I say, I've just kept it nice and light, and I'm just rinsing my brush. I've got a little bit of water in my brush, and I'm going to pick up this violet and I'm just going to add it to the centre. Just drop in little bits so that it flows into the petal that you've just created. If the petals are too wet or you've got too much water in your brush, the middle bit will flow a lot and ruin your petals. I know this because I've done that before, and maybe you have to do that to understand exactly how much water to have or not have. Don't worry about the mistakes you make. That's how you learn. So make your mistakes, because this might look perfect, this might look great to you. It's taken a lot of practice to get there. I'm just using the lilac now, and I'm just following the same kind of process, and I'm trying to make it so that the flowers are not all facing one direction. And again, that's something I've had to learn, and you can learn this as well. Not straight away, you've got to practice. I'm using the silver black velvet brush, size 8. You don't have to use the exact same brush, you can use different ones. I'm just adding in some yellow orange from the Shinhan range now, just to give it another layer, if you like, or another selection of colour to add to the flowers. And it just gives it like a little bit of a lift, a bit of a highlight. Don't do it all over, just little light touches, and you'll be amazed at what that does. I'm picking up some sap green now. I'm going to start with the stem and the leaves. Again, it's not perfect. I know I probably haven't put the stems in the exact right places. It doesn't matter. I'm just being free and a bit loose with the flowers. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process. It's really nice and relaxing. The first time I did something like this, my colours were perhaps a bit too dark. I used to get really carried away with doing these little leaves. I still probably do get a little bit carried away, but use your brush to create the leaves like this. Just see what patterns or what brush strokes your brush makes and make them into flowers. It doesn't have to be perfect either, and it's not about what the end result is. I think it's more about how it makes you feel at the end of the painting. Do you feel like your mind hasn't wandered off? You've been focused on the painting and it's helped you to relax and possibly think more clearly afterwards. I'm using less water now. I'm picking up a bit more pigment for the center and just adding a bit more of the violet. And I think I'm going to go and rinse my brush, and I've picked Payne's Grey, and I'm just adding that in just to make the center as dark as possible. The petals are still a touch bit damp, so that means the colours won't bleed or bloom as much now, and I'm still going in as dark as possible, but I'm still being careful with just adding little drops in. And I'm going to add it to the leaves as well to give it a little bit of depth, some tonal values, just to make little bits stand out. I have got some other really easy, simple flowers and leaves that you might find it easy to follow those as well. So I'll leave you those links in the description box. When you are happy with the first layer, leave it to dry, and then we're going to come back and add a second layer, pretty much the same but a lot less water. And I'm using here an Escoda brush because I feel like I've got more control to do the veins or the lines that you normally see on the petals. And again, nice and delicate, gentle lines, gentle painting. Just drop in little bits with the odd 1 or 2 petals where you press the brush down. And it just helps to give the flower a bit more depth. I'm using the violet, the Shinhan violet. If you haven't got the exact paints or the exact colours, feel free to use whatever you've got. And here I'm just starting to separate the petals. Imagine where the sun might be, but you don't have to be exact or anything. Again, just make sure you're having fun and you enjoy the process. Feel free to practice. Even I still can't get it right. I'm trying to just use the tippy pointy bit of the petal to get the veins. The camera did cut out at this point, but basically I added some splatter. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got the idea of what to do, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.